If you're a dad watching this, your son thinks you abandoned him emotionally. Your daughter thinks you don't trust her. And you think you're just protecting them. All three of you are right, and that's the problem. Welcome back to the Psychology Guy. But before I explain why, I need you to see it first. So picture this, a father's house, same day, two different conversations. First scene, his 18-year-old daughter says, "Dad, I'm going to a party tonight." Immediately his face tightens. He leans forward. "Where? Who's going? Who's driving? What time will you be back? You better text me when you get there. And every hour, send me your location. Do you have pepper spray? Your phone is charged, right?" The daughter nods, says nothing, just accepts it. That's scene one. Now scene two. Same house, same father. His 18-year-old son walks in looking exhausted, emotionally drained. The son sits down and says quietly, "Dad, I don't think I'm okay. I've been feeling really alone. I don't know what's wrong with me." The father doesn't look up from his phone. "You're fine. You're a man. You tough it out. Stop being soft." The son nods, says nothing, and leaves the room. Same father. Same protective instinct. Completely different delivery. Now here's what's wild. The father in both scenes thinks he's doing the right thing. He has no idea what just happened. So let me explain. Your brain has a threat detection system that's constantly scanning for danger. And when that system detects someone who's smaller, physically weaker, or more socially vulnerable than you, something specific happens. An entirely different neural circuit activates. Researchers studying parental brain imaging found this, and it's wild. When a father looks at his daughter, his threat detection system lights up differently than when he looks at his son. It's not conscious. It's automatic. His brain is saying, "This person needs protection." And from that moment forward, it starts overestimating danger in her environment. Here's the twist. Your daughter actually is statistically at higher risk for certain things. Sexual assault, exploitation, certain predatory dynamics. The data is real. So your father's brain isn't paranoid. It's responding to reality. But then it does this thing where it takes that specific vulnerability and extrapolates it into total vulnerability. She needs protection from everything, even things she's genuinely capable of handling. Meanwhile, your son is drowning, loneliness, anxiety, depression, but his threat detection system doesn't see that because it's not looking for emotional vulnerability in men. Society taught fathers that sons need to be tough, so the father's brain starts treating his son like he's invincible when he's actually suffocating. Same protective instinct. Completely different victims. Now watch what happens over time. The daughter, the more she's protected from external threats, sometimes the worse she becomes at protecting herself. She stops trusting her own judgment because someone else has been making those decisions for her. By the time she's 25, she doesn't know how to assess if someone's dangerous because she never had to learn. Her independence atrophies. Meanwhile, the son learns early that protection isn't coming, that emotions are weakness, that he's on his own. So he builds armor. By 25, he can't ask for help. He can't be vulnerable. He can't admit he's struggling. The father's protection, or lack thereof, literally shaped both kids' ability to survive, but in broken ways. And here's what the father doesn't see. He goes to bed thinking he did a good job. He has no idea that his way of protecting is actually weakening them both. That's what makes this so insidious. It's invisible. It feels like love. It is love, but it's incomplete love. Love without wisdom. Protection without education. Now here's what I need you to understand. This pattern isn't your father's fault for having it, but it becomes your responsibility once you see it. If you're a father watching that first scene again, your daughter being capable and your daughter being safe are not opposites. You can teach her to assess danger for herself. Have real conversations. Let her make mistakes in low-stakes situations so she builds judgment, while still being her backup. You can protect her and believe in her simultaneously. If you're a daughter, your father's interrogation in that scene, that's not about your weakness. That's about his brain's threat detection system in overdrive. You can respect his concern and trust yourself more than you think you can. If you're a son, that scene, where your pain got dismissed, this pattern might explain why asking for help feels like admitting defeat, why you've always had to figure things out alone, why vulnerability feels like weakness. That's not your fault. That's the pattern. And naming it is how you break it. The real insight here is this. The protector complex isn't evil. It's just incomplete. A father who sees his daughter as needing protection and believes she's capable of learning to protect herself. That's balanced. A father who sees his son struggling emotionally and creates space for him to be vulnerable. That's revolutionary. But most fathers are running on autopilot, letting their brain's old programming do the work. And that old programming is destroying both kids. So what's the move? Start seeing your kids for who they actually are, not for what your threat detection system tells you they are. Your daughter might be more capable than your fear. Your son might be more vulnerable than your assumptions. Love them enough to find out. So here's what I want you to do after this video ends. Don't like it, don't subscribe, don't do any of that yet. I want you to sit with this for a minute. Think about your relationship with your father, or your relationship with your kids, or your relationship with yourself if you're a son who grew up thinking vulnerability was weakness. Just sit with it. Because this pattern, it's not something you can unsee once you understand it. And the only way it changes is if one person in that family dynamic decides to do something different. It might be you. It might be your father finally seeing his son's pain. It might be your daughter refusing to outsource her own judgment anymore. But it starts with seeing it. That's the whole game. Everything else is just noise.